Game of Thrones or House of the Dragon? That's the question that's been going through many of our heads as House of the Dragon's first season has ended. But I think I've come to my conclusion on the matter. On this video, we're going to be talking about the 4 reasons why Game of Thrones Season 1 is far superior than that of House of the Dragon's first season. And be sure to stick around to the end of the video to where I let you guys in on a little bonus reason to why Game of Thrones is much better. Hey guys, it's Mike here with Quick Thought, where we discuss real world and fictional history alike. House of the Dragon and Game of Thrones both deliver very cinematic experiences during each of their episodes. However, Game of Thrones seems to deliver those intriguing and gut-wrenching movie-like episodes in a much more effortless and digestible way. Here are my 4 reasons why Game of Thrones Season 1 is better than House of the Dragon's first season. Number 1. Superior casting. Game of Thrones without a doubt trumps House of the Dragon's casting. The first season, that is. At least in my opinion. It took little to no time for the fandom to fall in love with actors like Charles Dance, Lena Headey, or Maisie Williams after their brilliant portrayals of Tywin and Cersei Lannister and Arya Stark. And among the other actors and actresses during GOT's first season, there's no one I can think of that didn't fit their role almost perfectly, even if their acting skills was somewhat mediocre. However, with House of the Dragon's first season, there's still some players in the game that are still a hit or miss for me. I may get cancelled for this one, but Matt Smith's portrayal as Daemon Targaryen has yet to fully convince me that he's truly the Rogue Prince. Sometimes he seems to nail the role, and other times it seems to fall rather short. The same feeling goes for Emma Darcy in her portrayal as Oda Rhaenyra. And it's important to note that, unlike Game of Thrones, House of the Dragon is released during an overly politicized environment. Inclusiveness and diversity is a beautiful thing that should always be embraced. However, with some of the decisions HBO and House of the Dragon made regarding this matter, it seems rather forced in the sake to seem more inclusive rather than finding the best actor or actress for the job, giving some of the actors of color very little speaking roles. But with Game of Thrones, the adequate amount of camera time was given to each actor needed to sufficiently build their character arc. Number 2. Superior dialogue and storytelling. Game of Thrones storytelling and dialogue is far better than that of House of the Dragons. This could definitely be a result that in A Song of Ice and Fire, the source material is finished and rather detailed, where in Fire and Blood, there are multiple historical accounts and the information is rather vague. After rewatching Game of Thrones first season for the 100th time, it still blows my mind how unbelievably well written the dialogue is. I don't know if you guys can recall, but this season gives us some of the most memorable lines and quotes in television history. With House of the Dragon, I personally cannot recall one piece of dialogue that can hold a candle anywhere near to the suspenseful and soap opera scenes between Cersei Lannister and Ned Stark, or the political scheming conversations between Varys and Littlefinger. Game of Thrones Season 1 without a doubt set the bar for top-notch dialogue and storytelling for all of television.
When you play the Game of Thrones, you win or you die. There is no middle ground.
This is where the writers put most of their energy and time, especially during the first season to where the budget was rather low. The series had no choice but to rely heavily on source material and superior dialogue rather than that of shock value and fan service. Which leads us into reason number 3. No fan service. Obviously during Game of Thrones first season, they had little to no fans at all, other than us proclaimed book readers. So not only did they not have the budget, but they also didn't have many fans to please at all, giving the showrunners no option but source material and superior dialogue rather than what looks awesome or cool.
Just remember we were in the writer's room one day and I was like, it would be awesome if Rhaenys just came through the floor on a dragon.
Yo, are you done?
It's important to note this is exactly why we fell in love with not only the first seasons of Game of Thrones, but I would say the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. We were shocked and surprised and stunned during every twist and turn during the season, and it didn't take expensive CGI dragons or blockbuster endings to do it, which is what the later seasons of Game of Thrones relied on when the source material died out. And this is also what not only House of the Dragon leaned on to fill the gaps in which storytelling and dialogue failed to, but this is something all major films and series do when they have the money to back it up. Last but not least, number 4. World building and anticipation. There's no argument that the world building in Game of Thrones trumps that of House of the Dragon. This can definitely be a result of the essential time jumps required of House of the Dragon to tell the story of the Dance of the Dragons properly. As a result, this without a doubt leaves the audience feeling disconnected from certain characters or abandoned when the character was aged up with a different actor. Where in Game of Thrones, we got to feel as if we grew up with the characters, as if we were with them every step of the way during their intriguing journeys, as if we knew what made them happy, sad, empathetic, or mad, resulting in an audience that's much more invested and connected with the characters' lives and their development. And on the flip side of that coin, their deaths. Losing Ned Stark during episode 9 of season 1 and Robb and Catelyn Stark during the Red Wedding during season 3 wasn't shocking to fans because HBO spent a crazy amount of CGI or because it looked good. In fact, it looked rather mediocre. The hurt and shock was because the world building made us love these people and heavily invested and connected with their lives, even for us book readers who knew what to expect.
Even though we get 2 major deaths around the same times during both series,
losing Ned Stark was much more daunting and surprising than losing Viserys, at least in my opinion. So there you go, guys. Those are my 4 reasons to why Game of Thrones Season 1 is far superior than House of the Dragon's first season. And for the bonus reason that I promised you guys, the intro. I can count on one hand during the many rewatches of Game of Thrones that I skipped the intro. It was fascinating, intriguing, enjoyable to hear and watch, and just simply fun. However, for the House of the Dragon intro, I skipped it every single time, possibly for the last 10 weeks. Even as a book reader, the symbolic replica of Old Valyria
with the different bloodlines flowing through it just doesn't have the same visual intrigue as the original. Or maybe I'm just not intellectually intelligent enough to fully grasp the concept of it.
You guys tell me. Well, alright guys, that's all I have for you on this video. Let me know what you guys thought about my reasonings below, and also let me know your reasonings below. Which one do you like better, Game of Thrones Season 1 or House of the Dragon's first season? Be sure to subscribe to the channel,
give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll catch you guys and gals on my next video.
Later, and peace out.
Chaos isn't a pit. Chaos is a ladder.